year. It's Thursday, the 2nd of January, the 8th and final day of Hanukkah, day 454 of the October 7th war. Very quick update from me, and then we'll get to your questions. As we begin 2025, I want to restate the government of Israel's aims in this war. Firstly, the return of all of our hostages, 100 of them. Secondly, dismantling of Hamas's governmental and military capabilities and removing the terrorist threat to Israel. And thirdly, returning the residents of the north safely to their homes. 454 days on, our defense forces are operating boldly and bravely with tremendous sacrifice to bring back the hostages and eliminate the terrorist threat to the citizens of this country. And also at the start of this year, let me restate Israel's policy on Iran. For 15 months now, we've faced terror attacks by Iran and its proxies. Their declared intention is to destroy this country. The stranglehold which Iran has attempted to form around us, that is of Hezbollah in Lebanon, of Hamas in Gaza, of the Houthis in Yemen, from Iran's control of Syria, and other terrorist elements, just to restate our aim, we will not tolerate it. We will act with force against all terrorist threats to our citizens. After the 7th of October 2023, we will not have Iranian jihadis on our border, either terrorists or weapons production. Next, on the tragic fallen amongst Israel's armed forces, it is with regret that I share with you that the number of fallen soldiers has unfortunately risen to 825. Excuse me. Sergeant Uriel Peretz was aged 23 years old and from Beitar Illit. He fell in battle in northern Gaza. This is a devastating loss to his family and community. There are no words of mine that can assuage the pain of their families and their communities and their friends. We embrace them. These dear families who have lost their precious heroes, sons and daughters in this war for our very existence. The price of war is heavy and painful, and each casualty is a world unto itself. May their memories be a blessing forever. Next on our battle against Hamas in Gaza, let me share with you the details of an overnight intelligence-led Air Force raid which targeted Hassam Shahwan, head of the Hamas internal security force in southern Gaza. Where did we find him? Where else but of course hiding in the humanitarian zone in Khan Yunis, where Gazans are sheltering from this war. This is the same Hamas internal security force that, yes, attack Israel, but also hold violent interrogations and suppress ordinary Gazans, violating their human rights and suppressing dissent. Again, Israel is freeing Gaza from Hamas. Israel will always take the steps needed to mitigate harm to Gazans, and we have listed these many times. They are, of course, using precise munitions, aerial surveillance, and of course, intelligence. Next on aid entering Gaza, another reminder as we start 2025 that there are today 800 trucks worth of aid today, right now. They've been there for months, waiting to be collected from the Gazan side of the Kerem Shalom crossing. As you know, aid enters Gaza consistently with no limits on the amount. It is entirely dependent on the capacity of the United Nations aid organizations to collect and distribute the aid. We've said before that other organizations have managed to collect and distribute aid constantly. The UN, however, has not managed to do this. The UN could take a break from the daily condemnations of Israel and do its job to get the aid delivered. As we start a new month, let me give you the figures for December. In December alone, we actually saw the most aid trucks entering Gaza in recent months, with over £200 million of aid entering Gaza. So in December alone, 100,000 tons of humanitarian aid went in on 5,000 trucks. Let me share with you a health update in Gaza on Gazan hospital patients needing external treatment. In recent months, 1,055 patients and their carers have left Gaza through the Kerem Shalom crossing to get medical treatment in 13 different countries abroad. On Tuesday this week, 127 Gazan patients, mostly children and their carers, went to Israel's Ramon airport to receive treatment in the UAE. This was carried out in cooperation with the United Arab Emirates, Israel, and the World Health Organization. Israel is thankful for the UAE's leadership on this important humanitarian project, as it is for all the humanitarian efforts the UAE and other organizations in Gaza have held since the start of this war. And let me give you the latest figure of the amount of aid which has gone in since the start of this war. Our latest figure is that 1,262,000 tons of aid. That is 1,262,000 tons of aid have gone into Gaza since the start of this war. So that's the end of our briefing today. Please put your questions in the chat and we'll get to each of them individually. First question I can see here is from Joel Pollock at Breitbart News. And you ask, Hamas appears to be backtracking on negotiations. President-elect Trump has said that there will be all hell to pay if Hamas does not free the hostages by January 20th. From Israel's perspective, what might that mean? And how could the US do more to push Hamas to free the hostages? Thank you for that question, Joel. In terms of what President Trump, the meaning of President Trump's words, he's been extremely clear, but for further explanation, the President-elect Trump and his administration can give you that clarification if you ask them. From our point of view, let me tell you about the hostage situation. Once again, it does appear that Hamas is walking away from a deal, as they have done for so many months now. They are always walking away from a deal. With God's help, Israel is acting relentlessly to get them home. We're prepared to make far-reaching compromises. We want to get all of our people home, the living and the murdered as well. But on the details, as we have said from the start of this war, when it comes to the hostages, the less we discuss this in public, the better. Now is time for actions and not words. In the past, there's been a lot of hot air, perhaps too many words and not enough action. From Israel's point of view, we are focused. We are working with everything we have to get them out of hell. Joel, no more words are needed. Words will, of course, follow, and there'll be plenty of them once they are out of the hell which Hamas hold them in. So, as yesterday was the first day of the new year, we still have 100 hostages who were brutally kidnapped by into Gaza by Hamas terrorists. 454 days now, they remain captive in Gaza. We'll do everything in our power to get them out, the living and the deceased alike, to get them out of captivity. We know they're being held in inhumane conditions. The report by the Ministry of Health, which is based on real testimonies of hostages who have been set free from captivity, serves as evidence of the murderous and unimaginable cruelty. So it's in violation of international law. They're experiencing horrific abuse and they need to be set free right now. Okay, next question is second question from Joel Pollock. Does Israel believe there is a connection between the war and the New Year's Day attacks in the US? Thank you for that question, Joel. Look, on that New Orleans attack, look, let me just say that this is radical Islam. Our foreign minister has made this clear, as has our defense minister. This is radical Islam. This is ISIS. This is AQ. This is Al Qaeda. This is Hamas. This is Hezbollah. We are fighting it here in Israel, and that is why we say that our success, our victory here, is your success in the West as well, whether in the US, in the UK, in France, in Germany. These are attacks on any freedom-loving nation, whether in a market, a Christmas market in Germany, or on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. These are outrageous, radical attacks from radical Islam. We are fighting it here. We're on the front line of this battle here. But make no mistake, we're fighting it here to defeat them here will be your success in the West as well. The foreign minister has expressed our condolences to the families of those who have lost their loved ones in this outrageous terrorist attack, and the Israeli embassy in the US has made that clear. You can actually see that statement on the Israeli embassy in the US's Twitter feed. Okay, next question here is also from Joel Pollock. Israel seems to be having abundant rain this winter. How does the supply of water affect Israel's strategic position? Thank you for that question, Joel. Israel is a world leader when it comes to water presentation, but also in desalination. We thankfully lead the world when it comes to water desalination and water innovation. It was Plato that first said that necessity is the mother of invention. And we have, thank God, essentially done tremendous work when it comes to water preservation and water production and desalination in this country. It's a technology that we've exported around the world, not least to India, where we've saved the lives of tens of thousands of people in droughts in India. We see that as our duty. It's part of the effort which Israel has made to solve the world's problems and its innovation and its lead in creativity, particularly on water production. But rain, we believe, in this part of the world is a blessing, and we are certainly thankful for that blessing. Thank you for that question. Next question I can see here is from Hannah Julian from the Jewish Press. Syria's new foreign minister is in Riyadh for talks with Saudi Arabia. How might diplomatic ties between the new Syrian regime and Riyadh affect Israel's war with Hezbollah and Hamas, if at all? Thank you for that question, Hannah. Let me say, when it comes to the situation in Syria, we've made our position extremely clear. We certainly have no intention of playing any role in the internal matters inside Syria, but we are taking all necessary steps to defend and ensure that the security of the communities on the Golan Heights, as well as the entire civilian population of this country, is defended. We've certainly got no interest in conflict with Syria, nor have we any intention of interfering in Syria's internal affairs, but we will not tolerate, this is important, we will not tolerate a situation that endangers our civilians and allows Iran in particular to re-establish itself in the region and transfer weapons to Hezbollah. Now, when it comes to Saudi Arabia and the new Syrian administration's relationship with Saudi Arabia, that is not a matter for Israel. But as our foreign minister has said, we underscore the importance of the need to urgently safeguard Syria's minorities, including the Kurds, the Alawites and the Christians, and our foreign minister has also said that the new government in Syria has not been democratically elected, and even more troubling, they are now proclaiming that elections will take place only after 4 years, which is a real concern in this country. So we hope that Saudi Arabia will be a force of moderation when it comes to the future of Syria, to provide a better future for all of the people in this region. Okay, any other questions? No, I can't see any more questions. So thank you for joining us. A happy new year again. And I'll be back in the studio for our next briefing on Monday. In the meantime, thank you for joining us, and please do stay safe. We'll catch you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Dejobnik signing off.